Good morning, peeps. Oh, good morning. I mean, good afternoon. Or evening. It's 4 o'clock. It's getting close to evening. I'm at work. I got called in this morning. And I kinda decided to work today because why not make an extra $200? So, did I say that out loud? So anyways, I came in. Figured I decided I was gonna stay for most of the day. I would normally leave at 6:30 p.m., but that's my normal shift at 6:30 to 6:30. But I'm gonna leave here in about an hour. I'm gonna go back in. Kind of staggered breaks right now. They were short a few people, but it's the first of the month and it's super slow. Like, I really haven't I haven't really had to do much other than just cover for people when they go to breaks. So it really hasn't been that bad of a day, and I think the rest of this week is going to be pretty slow. And I'm going to be starting my 4-day work week this week, which is going to be just but I think it's going to be slow, so that'll be nice. Yeah, so I think Sunday my uncle is bringing his car over. It needs the PCV valve replaced. It's on a 2010 Ford Transit van, and it's in a really bad spot. He doesn't want to do it, and so they're gonna pay me some money to do that. So we might have a video on that, something different, just some filler video for until this truck here is ready to get its axle swap. I gotta switch hands. This is killing me. You know what? Check this out. I fixed my phone thing. Hey! Oh, God, that's so much better. There. The sun. So, yeah. We've got an unboxing video coming up. Should be Thursday. It's an unboxing video of the long arms for the axle swap. You're gonna see what I got in store. It's gonna be a standalone video. It's not gonna be part of an axle swap series. It's just gonna be an unboxing of that product that I purchased. Probably mid-November I'm gonna start tearing this truck apart and getting it prepped for the new axle. You should expect to see videos on that in a few weeks. I'm excited. I may not look it, normally people are like, yee-hee, and then you clap, and then you do the, Chewbacca mom thing, and laugh really annoying. Anyways, yeah, so, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to have, I'll have new steering. It's a completely different setup. You got the variable toe camber caster setup, which when you hit a bump, you have to calculate how much of the steering wheel you need to move, and then you have to consider how much play is in your brand new steering box, and then you have to calculate or figure out how much play you have in the rubber joint. And then once you figure all that out, you know how much of the steering wheel you gotta move to keep it from while you're hitting bumps. Because what happens, and this is why I'm getting rid of the whole TTB thing. I was just gonna keep it cheap and simple and just put in TTB 4x4 axles, but I decided to do the axle swap, simplicity. You're not doing this while you're hitting bumps. But what's happening is your axles are like this, okay? And then you hit a bump. You see how the beam does this? The tires toe in when they come down. So if you hit a bump and your tire comes down like that, and you turn the steering wheel just enough as you hit that bump, it pops the wheel out and then it doesn't really throw you off from trying to track straight. It's really annoying on road trips. If you're on a really shitty road that's got grooves that aren't perfectly straight, they're kind of like this, it'll toss a normal vehicle around the road, but then you get in this with TTB axles and a pre-worn out steering gear. It tends to be a nightmare. And then when you're on I-5 going towards Southern California, I think it's between San Francisco and right around Williams, Maxwell, California, there's a stretch of highway that's it's beat up, and you really got to like think about steering. So what I'm looking forward to is, after doing the axle swap, I'm getting a redhead steering gear that's got no play in it. It's a nice tight fresh steering box, and then I'm going to replace this intermediate shaft with one from LMC Truck. They have this really nice telescoping steering wheel with like billet U-joints and stuff, and then it's got a nice solid rubber insulator joint. Not the disc, not the, you know, the washcloth bolted into a couple pieces of metal that just kind of float around. It's an actual U-joint, and then it's got like a rubber thing. It's like a kind of like a harmonic balancer kind of thing, but in a, you know, a small thingamajigger. It looked like a real quality piece. It's expensive. It's about $400, $400, I think. So I think with that, the gearbox, and then the whole front end's going to be nice and tight, because it's not going to be, you hit a bump like this, your toe stays where it needs to be. The only thing that might change a little bit is the steering wheel position as the suspension cycles. But if I get it set up right, it shouldn't do that at all. So, so that'll make road trips much more enjoyable. I could just say fuck this whole thing, get rid of the truck, and then buy a car and then live a boring life of just driving a car. But I want to drive a pickup truck. I want to drive this thing across the country, but I want to make it more enjoyable. And so that's why I ended up just kind of convincing myself to just spend the money on the axle swap. So that's what I'm doing, and as I'm doing it, I'm sort of engineering my own little suspension setup. Not necessarily my own, but using a different set of parts that other people wouldn't consider using. Like air shocks, for example. I want to try and make those work. Anyways, that's kind of just what's going on. I'm really just talking out my ass so I can get a little video. It's truck talk, you know? Got a vent. I got all this stuff I keep thinking about in my head, and it's just like, oh my god. So if I just talk about it, put it on YouTube, and then I'm better. So somebody was asking if I could, after the axle swap, give an approximation of how much I've would have spent on this axle swap. And to do it right, well, not necessarily do it right, but if to how do I want to put it? To go the route I'm going, whereas, you know, I'm buying stuff that's been designed for this purpose, you know, I'm getting stuff that makes everything a bolt-on deal. It's already engineered, already thought out. You know, I bought the James Duff track bar mount that's built for this truck's frame. It's meant to be used with their track bar that connects to the axle. And so I got all of that. I've got really nice spring buckets that we're going to put in. I got new coil springs for 78 F-150. They are the stock lift spring, which I'm going to see if they work with this combination. If not, I'm going to have to get a second set of coil springs that are for a 4-inch lift. But all the stuff that I bought, the long arms, you know, you're paying for shipping for all this stuff as well. And then getting the axle, rebuilding the axle. Right now, I'm pushing about almost $2,000. Almost $2,000. And then on top of that, I'm going to be spending more money. I'm going to be getting the new steering gear and the shaft, and then I've got to get new springs for the rear. And I think I can get away with the shocks that I have right now. They are meant for a 3.5-inch lift. I'll probably swap them out. But the shocks meant for a 4-inch lift. So it's costly. Now, if you just needed 4-wheel drive, just making sure I wasn't being paged. I did go to break when one guy was trying to go to break. I'm like, I'm going to break, it's slow. So anyways, if you wanted it cheap, simple, you know, you just need 4-wheel drive because you're on a farm and you just want the truck to not get stuck, here's what you can do. You go to the junkyard, you get yourself an MP435 out of a 4-wheel drive truck. They're usually pretty good, even though they're in the junkyard. I've gotten one from there before. It's what I had before my M50D, and it lasted for almost 30,000 miles. It was still usable. It was terrible, needed to be rebuilt, but it did it. You can just get one of those. Get yourself a manual shift NP 1356, not NP, BW 1356. They're in a lot of, you know, Bronco F-150 trucks. You can find them just about every time you go to the junkyard, depending on where you live. In Oregon, I can find them all day long. I could probably get about maybe 5 out of a lot. There would be about 5 that would have that transfer case. So that's about a couple $100, $200-300 right there at the junkyard. Transmission, a transfer case. You know, you're looking at now if you're automatic, if you got a C6, get yourself a. You're gonna need to convert the automatic over to 4-wheel drive, so you might as well just buy a whole new automatic. But if you're manual and you want to go 4-wheel drive, do the 4-speed transmission, get all the stuff, you know, the bell housing and the clutch, or just get a new flybone clutch for all that. Get your hydraulics, get your transfer case, drive shaft. If you find a complete truck at the junkyard with TTB axles and it's got the old style with just the turning knobs and no top hat, half hat, auto hub goofy bullshit, pull it all. It'll probably run you $500 to $600 for all of that stuff, just based on the pricing at Pick and Pull here at my location. And you can have all your 4-wheel drive stuff, and then put a couple $100 into it. You know, if the ball joints are good and tight on the thing, you can just freaking run it. That's what I do if I run a tight budget for 4-wheel drive. If they're not crunchy and rusted out, just do it. I mean, my ball joints on my 2-wheel drive are original to this thing. They're 34, 35 years old. Old as shit. They do kind of moan when I turn corners and stuff. They creak a little bit. They're tired. But you know, that's a thing that a lot of people they got these old trucks. They want to go 4-wheel drive. They don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Just swap in your TTB setup. I don't even think you have to change out the steering links. I think they're all the same. So, you know, if you're going to do an 8-lug while you're at it, you can do a Dana 50 TTB setup, which then you're going to leave sprung, and it's like, forget that. But a solid axle swap, I personally think, just to get it where it's rock solid, just beefy, do it the way I'm doing it. Get the James Duff products. Don't get the old factory stuff, because then you get those big tires. You get those freaking factory radius arms from the 78. They look like toothpicks with big tires on them. I mean, you could probably snap those without even trying. The James Duff arms, I don't know how you could break those. I think you'd really have to be. I think you'd break the actual axle before you would break the long arms, the radius arms. Hey, you guys will see them. You'll see them Thursday, or probably Friday. Actually, is when I'm probably gonna post the video. The security people doing the paging, they're killing me. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna be wrapping this up. I'm gonna go head inside. I'm done with my break. Yeah, I'm gonna go back in and I don't know, I might work till 6. I don't know. I don't really care. It's like one of those lazy overtime days where I come in, I'm just working, and then, you know, I don't really have anything to do when I get home other than maybe upload this video. Of course, I might just upload it on my phone right now and whatnot. Anyways, I think I've evacuated all my thoughts out of my head. I feel better. So, hope you guys enjoy the videos. If you'd like to see more, subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, you can unsubscribe and then subscribe again. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. Anyways, see you later.